Hey guys, today on Cooking with Carby, we're making cookies. More specifically, we're making my all-time favorite Skor chocolate chip cookies. These cookies are so delicious that it's gonna become a problem once you try these, because A, you're not gonna be able to go back to your old chocolate chip cookie recipe, and B, you're gonna make hundreds of cookies and maybe gain a few pounds. Part of what makes these cookies so delicious is the first step. This first step of browning the butter is coming from Chris Morocco's BA's Best chocolate chip cookie recipe. It adds a nice depth of flavor. It adds a caramelly taste, a little bit of a nutty depth, which pairs super nicely with our addition here of Skor bits. That toffee melts down into the cookies, a little bit of salt on top. Ugh, these cookies are unbelievable. Let's get started.
Okay, into a mixing bowl goes 200 grams of all-purpose flour, which is about 1.5 cups, followed by 1 1/4 teaspoons or 4 grams of kosher salt, as well as 3/4 of a teaspoon or 4 grams of baking soda. Set this aside while we prepare our butter. I'm starting with 170 grams or 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter. 1/2 cup or 110 grams is getting left as we're going to brown that on the stove. The other 1/4 cup or 60 grams is getting cut into small 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cubes. Over to the stove, we're going to start browning that 1/2 cup. With a small saucepan over medium-high heat and a rubber spatula to mix the entire time, we're going to watch our butter go through 3 phases over a span of about 7 minutes. Phase 1, white and foamy as it reaches that simmer. Keep mixing, and it's going to switch from this white foamy color to a deeper golden bubbly color. Keep mixing, and it's going to start to foam up again. And then out of the middle of nowhere, we're gonna start to see these little brown specks appear. As these specks start appearing, we know we've reached the level of browned butter, and it can go from brown to black really quickly. So at this point, we want to remove from heat and pour it directly into a heat-proof bowl. Don't forget to scrape the bottom of your pot to get all of those extra bits of flavor. You can see that dark golden brown color. And then when we add in our cubes of unmelted butter, we don't want it to sizzle and start to foam up. If that's the case, wait for it to cool a little bit more and then add them in. We just want it to slowly melt. Then we are adding in 200 grams or 1 cup of packed brown sugar and 50 grams or 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar and turning on our mixer to combine. While that is mixing, I'm going to separate the yolks from 2 large eggs. There are so many methods for doing this, but I find just the tried, tested, and true version of using your hands, separating your fingers a little bit is the easiest and most consistent. Just wash your hands. So 2 large egg yolks, 1 whole egg, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract get added into the mixer while it's running, and then we're going to slowly pour our dry ingredients in. Adding our dry ingredients slowly while our mixer is running ensures even incorporation, reduces clumps, and it helps to stop you from ending up with a gigantic cloud of flour all over your whole kitchen. At some point, you're probably going to need to stop to scrape down the sides of your bowl, run it again just until there aren't any white spots left, and then we're going to let it sit and hydrate while we prepare our fixins.
Lillard, long range 3, and it's good!
Dame Dollar time. I'm starting with 4 ounces of roughly chopped semi-sweet baker's chocolate. I prefer using chopped chocolate rather than chocolate chips in my cookies, as you get a whole bunch of different texture levels because of the different size pieces of chocolate in your cookie. I'm also adding in 4 ounces of these little Skor bits, which is just a butter toffee, so you could replace it with some sort of toffee or chopped up Skor chocolate bars. We're pouring it into the mixer and just mixing until it's somewhat evenly distributed throughout the cookie. It's going to be a pretty wet texture at this point. That's due to the melted brown butter, as well as a lot of egg in here. So we're going to want to cover it and refrigerate it at least for a couple of hours. After its little nap in the fridge, we're going to see that it has thickened up quite a lot in consistency, and just like a blizzard, you can hold it upside down. Preheat your oven to 375, line your baking sheet of choice with parchment paper, and then I'm zeroing out my scale with my 1/4 cup scoop. We're aiming for 1.5 ounces here. Ooh, that's like a buzzer beater right there. This recipe yields 16 cookies of this size. I'm only going to put 8 on each sheet, as they do spread quite a bit, resulting in fairly thin cookies. Into the 375-degree oven they go for the first half of their bake time. At the 5-minute mark, I'm removing them from the oven and banging them on the counter pretty obnoxiously. This is going to do 2 things: deflate the cookies, as well as give us a nice crinkly texture on top. Then back into the oven they go with the pan rotated for another 5 to 6 minutes, just until the edges are golden brown and starting to be firm and hold their shape. While they're still hot, I'm going to sprinkle each one with a little bit of flaky kosher salt. This combination of the sweet chocolate, the salt, and the toffee is such a nice savory sweet combination. It's definitely worth a try. After about 5 minutes, they should have firmed up enough that we can transfer them to a wire rack to finish cooling. Try to give them another 10 minutes before digging in, but it is kind of hard to resist warm cookies.
Okay, now that these have cooled enough, let's give them a taste. Good firm edges. We can see all that nice caramel toffee on the bottom. This is my telltale test. I want to be able to bend, get a good bend, and then pull apart. It's not falling apart. Everybody likes their cookies a little bit differently. For me, I want it to be crispy on the outside edge, chewy in the middle. That caramel toffee helps with it. These are delicious. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you tried this recipe out for yourselves. Like I said at the start, best part about trying these cookie recipes out is try it this way the first time and then make your own substitutions. Add something else instead of the Skor. Do white chocolate chips. I saw some caramel sea salt ones the other day at the grocery store. Those might be amazing in this too. Thanks. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.